Okay, good. So at the bottom, there are some words or adjectives that might describe your classroom. Okay, so if you think about the look and feel of your own classroom, what are you trying to create for your students every single time you have a lesson? There might be some of these that apply, some of them, maybe all of them do. But what you need to kind of see is what is the ones that you think most describes the look and feel of your classroom. So let me just go through a couple of things to give you an example. Okay, so I'm going to start over here. Okay, so the first one over here is it's like, do you want every one of your classrooms to be colorful, to be vibrant? Do you want it to be playful? Do you try to create that every time for your students when they come in? Is it something visually like stimulating when they come in, right? And I see some teachers that love to go with EDBs, they like to create that environment. And for them, it makes the kid also feel relaxed, makes them feel comfortable. Okay. So as an example, let me take another couple of examples here. And if there's any one of these that you're not quite sure about, then do let me know as well. Okay. I mentioned like artistic as well. So I'm just going to talk about this. Okay. A lot of the times, some of our teachers, some of our students, visual learners, love to incorporate more pictures in the classroom, right? More art. Sometimes we have students that draw pictures for us if they're trying to illustrate something that they are learning. Is that something that you encourage in the classroom a lot of the time? It's like, do you want it to be artistic? Are you artistic yourself? Okay. And want to kind of like share that and teach in that way. Okay. Nadia, for example, you're musical, right? You're a musician as well. So is that something that you incorporate in some way? You know, so bringing your own kind of sort of area of expertise into it. Okay. Obviously, interactive, that's very important. Okay. And don't have to explain that too much. Accommodating. Okay. Do you make room for, are your lessons flexible? For example, if they want to show you something in the lesson that's of interest to them, they did something at school. Do you make time in the lesson? Like, okay, let me spend a bit of time talking about this and maybe find a way to bridge that to a topic that we're talking about and then find a connection there. So how accommodating are you to the students, right? Do you change your lessons as well according to the individual student's learning type? Okay. Student-centered. Are you focused more on the student's interests and then finding a way to bridge, very similar to accommodating? Okay. So you take a topic and then you center that on something that the student is interested in. Okay. So how often do you do that? How resourceful are you? How much information do you use? Visuals, other reference pictures, and all of that to illustrate a point? Or do you just rely on the PDFs, the slides every time? So you get my point. Okay. Are there any ones over here that you're not quite sure about? Maybe I can just explain before we do the activity.
If I may ask, the inquiry